With the release of Disney Lorcana's 9th set, Fabled, we're getting 33 brand new cards, some of which are sure to make a splash in the competitive scene. We're also getting a number of reprints, some of which are really good, and some of which are not so good. The question is, in this weird set of reprints and new cards, which of them are the best? Which of them are the most powerful and the ones that are likely to stick around the competitive scene? Well, we polled 25 of Lorcana's very best players to get you the answers, and some of the cards on this list might surprise you. Number 10, Scar, Finally King. We're kicking off our list with a card that's new to Fabled and not a reprint. Scar is a legendary card that works well with a very specific character type, and that is allies. And there are allies aplenty in Lorcana, including 57 alone in Steel that would be legal in Core Constructed after rotation. And this includes some bangers like Tinkerbell Giant Fairy, Rhino Power Hamster, Lawrence, and even Doc Bold Knight. Now, Scar has two abilities. One of them gives all your other allies +1 strength, and the other gives you some weird card draw. If he's exerted, he basically eats one of your allied characters to draw you cards equal to that character's strength. And if you do that, you have to draw 2 cards. Now, one of the themes you'll notice on this list, the cards that give you card draw or some sort of targeted removal are really good because we lost a lot of those cards in rotation. Now, as I said, several players expected this card to make a splash in Core Constructed, including Nationals qualifier Clara Sear.
Hello everyone, this is Clara, and with the upcoming set of Fabled, we've seen many cards, many returning, and Scar, Finally King, is one that caught my eye. It enables good synergies with a type of card named Ally, and I can't wait to see that perform in the main stage.
Number 9, Genie of the Lamp. Now in Lorcana, Evasive is a very powerful ability. Characters with Evasive can only be challenged by other characters with Evasive, making them difficult to remove. So Evasive characters can allow you to run away with the game by questing unchecked, especially characters with higher lore. I think many of us remember the Rise of the Floodborn meta where Minnie Mouse Surfer did a lot of damage, and then there's more recently Genie Wish Fulfilled with his 2 lore, which allowed many Amethyst players to run away with games. He truly was menacing. Now, like Genie Wish Fulfilled, Genie of the Lamp costs 4 ink, but he's inkable. He has a 2/3 stat line, so not quite as powerful stats-wise, but he also has 2 lore. But he also has a great ability. When he's exerted, your other characters gain +2 strength. Now, if you have a couple other characters on board, or even one other character, this can allow you to make some favorable trades. Especially in decks that are looking to go wide with smaller characters, this can allow you to swing board states. There's a lot of us expecting to see Genie of the Lamp in many Emerald decks in the next meta. Number 8, Under the Sea. The seaweed is always greener in a meta with Under the Sea. This is an 8-cost sing together song that allows you to send all of your opponent's characters with strength 2 or less to the bottom of your opponent's deck. Now, this is a card that's been around the meta for a while. It even was in the DLC Toronto winning deck of Diego Saz. Now, this card is really a menace to decks that are trying to go wide with lower cost characters, or perhaps decks with warded characters where they're just sitting back there and doing things, looking at you, Prince John. Now, one of the issues with the Fabled meta is that we lost some wide board control with cards like Be Prepared. I mean, that's really the big issue, is that we lost Be Prepared. And so it threatens to be a meta where decks can go wide with smaller characters and win quickly, but Under the Sea is one of the cards that could keep those decks in check. And several players highlighted its likely importance after rotation.
Humble here from Team Maelstrom, and the card I'm most excited for from Fabled is none other than Under the Sea. I'm excited for 2 reasons. One, it's a board wipe, an effect we really need going into the Fabled post-rotation meta. 2, it gets around a lot of those on-banished triggers. Your Cuscos, Diablos, even Bagheeras if we can sweep it Under the Sea. So that's the card I'm most excited for. What about you guys?
Number 7, Elsa, Spirit of Winter. For this spot on the list, we're flashing all the way back to the first chapter for a card that really requires no introduction. Elsa, Spirit of Winter has seen competitive play since she came out. Most recently, Blurple players have worked her into their deck because she offers some amazing board control in the endgame and can close things out with her 3 lore. Now, Elsa is an 8-cost card, which is very expensive, and she is uninkable, but when she comes into play, you can exert 2 of your opponent's characters who can't ready at the start of your opponent's next turn, meaning that they can't do much, and they're also vulnerable to challenges for another turn. Now again, in a meta where we've lost quite a few removal tools, cards like this that give you board control without removal can be pretty powerful. Many players expect her to continue to make a splash. Also, this amazing art by Matthew Robert Davies is just incredible. This card gives me chills.
Elsa, Spirit of Winter is back for Fabled, and here's why she's in my top 10 cards. So Elsa is the definition of a pop card. She quests for 3, she has a huge impact when she hits the board, and now with removal being so limited in core constructed, she's going to be really hard to deal with. Also, she is a fantastic shift target with the 5-cost Elsa, the 5th Spirit. But not every Amethyst deck will run her. I can definitely see her finding a home in Blurple. Blurple is able to ramp up to her much sooner with all the support in Sapphire. So that's where I can see her being ran, and when she hits the board, better watch out.
Number 6, Powerline, the world's greatest rock star. Powerline is a character that people have been waiting for ages, since the game first came out, and Ravensburger sure did him right with this card. Powerline is the first singer that we're seeing in Ruby. He's a 6-cost character with Singer 9, meaning he can sing pretty much any card in the game. Well, almost any card in the game. And when he sings, he does something crazy. Once per turn, whenever this character sings a song, look at the top 4 cards of your deck. You may reveal a song card with cost 9 or less and play it for free. Put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. That is wild. His matchup ability basically allows you to sing a song and then immediately sing a song again for some crazy effects. And what makes him even better is he is a Floodborn who shifts for 4, which is really cheap. And his Floodborn target isn't that terrible either. Now, players are sure to figure out some shenanigans that they can do with this card right away, but one of the cool things about cards with synergies like this is he's just going to get better as the game goes on and new sets and new songs are released. I can't wait to see what people do with him. I think we can see eye to eye that this card is going to be great.
Card that stands out to me in Fabled, and that's the world's greatest rock star, Powerline. Now, with his mashup ability, every time he sings a song, you get to look at the top 4 cards, play another song for free. I think it's going to be awesome with maybe Pirate's Life, Be King Undisputed, or some of the other songs that Steel and Emerald may have to offer him as well. And in fact, I have a Ruby Steel Powerline deck that you can see in Maelstrom's Day 1 decklist video, so check that out and rock out.
Number 5, it's Lilo, the best explorer ever. Now, Lilo is another card that's new to Fabled, and people are actually pretty excited about her because of her 2 kind of cool abilities. Now, Lilo is a 3-cost 2/2 with 1 lore, but her first ability says that when she enters play, she gives all of your other characters Challenger +2 this turn, meaning that when they're challenging, they gain +2 strength. Now, in a meta that's lost a lot of removal, as we've mentioned before, these types of combat tricks and things that allow you to make efficient trades and surprise your opponent actually become even more valuable, and so Lilo could see a lot of play for this reason. But if she wasn't good enough already, her second ability is actually really cool when paired with the right character. Her second ability says that whenever this character quests, she gives chosen alien character Challenger +2 this turn, but they can also challenge ready characters. And this ability is really useful if you have the right character to pair it with, and there are some options in the current meta, 25 of them to be precise. And some of them are actually kind of good, like John Silver. You also have several Stitches, which are pretty good in an Amber Steel deck, and let's not forget in Infinity, she probably makes the legendary Gantu playable, right? Right?
My favorite card, or best card of the set, has to be the new Lilo. I think it's even called Best Explorer Ever. Mainly because when a card comes into a set, and pretty much every deck that uses that color, which is steel, is going to play 4 copies of it. It's just got to be good enough. So for sure, it has to be Lilo. Absolute game changer for the set.
Number 4, Belle, Accomplished Mystic. Now, Belle is a card that's been good for quite some time, and she saw a lot of competitive play in the previous meta, even making appearances at the World Championship, so I'm sure people were not at all surprised to see her on this list. Now, Belle offers you an unconventional removal option. When she enters play, you can move damage counters, 3 of them to be precise, from a character to a chosen opposing character. Now, this allows you to do all sorts of things. I mean, most commonly, you're going to use her to finish off an opponent's character, but you can also set up a powerful Go-Go Tamago. You can also get around Resist, because Belle isn't dealing damage, she's moving damage counters to a character, and that gets around that ability. And I feel like I'm a broken record at this point, but in a meta where we've lost several removal tools, characters like this, which give you removal options, are extra good. And not only is she a good card, her art by Malia Ewart is some of the best in the game, so good they put it on a playmat, and Ravensburger is even gracing us with an Enchanted This set by Julia Riva.
One of the best reprints in Fabled is Belle, Accomplished Mystic. In this current format, there's a lot of big bodies and not a lot of removal. So being able to move damage from one of your cards to your opponents is very powerful.
Number 3, it's Dumbo, the 9th wonder of the universe. Now, Dumbo is another new card in Fabled. In fact, this is the first time we're seeing his franchise in Fabled. And Dumbo is a 4-cost 3/3 with evasive, and he has 2 abilities. His first one says you can exert him and pay 1 ink to draw a card and gain 1 lore, and his second ability, Making History, says your other characters with evasive gain exert, pay 1 ink to draw a card and gain a lore. Excuse me? This card is just bonkers. It's card draw, it's lore gain, it's all the things, and if you pair it with several other evasive characters, it is just absolutely ridiculous. This is a card that's on everybody's radar. In fact, I've even seen several competitive players describe it as meta warping, a must play, and it's people just expect it to be bonkers. Now, we've all fallen in the trap before of seeing specific cards and thinking that they're going to be absolutely ridiculous when in fact people find easy answers for them, or they're just not as good as people thought they were going to be. But this is a card which a lot of people expect to be just absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts.
This card is exciting to bring into the game. Very unique. It's drawn comparisons to Rapunzel or even Diablo at times, but I feel like Dumbo's is different of a resource system. He enables new archetypes to find some light, as well as provides very powerful support to already established archetypes. This little elephant is going to make a splash, and I can't imagine over the next year of games we aren't going to be seeing quite a lot of this guy. Anyways, I'm really excited to test him out. I got some brews in mind, and I hope y'all do too.
Number 2, Hades, Infernal Schemer. I really feel like a broken record at this point. Less removal in the meta means remaining removal options are better, and Hades offers you a really cool one. His ability, Is There a Downside to This, says that when he enters play, you can choose an opposing character and put that character in your opponent's inkwell face down. Now, not only is this some awesome targeted removal, but it does a funny thing. It doesn't banish an opposing character. Now that means that if there's a character in play that says when this character is banished, do a thing, like Mufasa Betrayed Leader for example, that card doesn't do that thing. That card just goes away. Now even though it does ramp your opponent, usually when Hades is coming into play on turn 7 or later, your opponent has plenty of ink anyway, and so there is a downside, but it's not super bad. Now, although Hades is an expensive, uninkable card costing 7, he does exist in Sapphire, a color with all sorts of ramp options, allowing you to get to him quicker. And finally, once you've used his ability, he does have 6 willpower, which is a decent amount, meaning he is a little bit trickier to remove, and he has 2 lore so he can quest once he's done his job, allowing you to close things out.
I love that Hades is getting a reprinted favorite. He's been there for us since set 1, and he's just a clean answer to everything, and he never feels unfair to your opponent, because he gives them ink in return. I mean, what a nice gift. And in addition, look at that enchanted, isn't it beautiful?
Before we get to our top spot, here are a few honorable mentions. John Silver, Alien Pirate.
Overstated, inkable, repeatable Reckless that got an indirect buff from songs getting worse makes for an incredible mid-range removal tool.
Ursula, Deceiver, and Max Goof, Chart Topper. And if you're enjoying this video and you want to see more like them, make sure you like and subscribe and maybe hit the notification button. We're always putting out fun videos about Lorcana competitive play, the art, the casual scene, all that stuff, so come back, watch more stuff. We appreciate it. Number 1, Strength of a Raging Fire. Now this card was on so many players' lists and you all know why. It's cheap targeted removal that can scale and it's inkable. Now we did lose some removal options like Let the Storm Rage On, but this card stuck around, it was reprinted, and it's going to do a lot of work in this set. When you build a steel deck, it is a 4 of must play for so many different reasons. I don't know, there's just so many good things you can say about it. And you can sing it. Tranquil as a forest, but a fire within.
Hey, Frank Karsten here. Now, Fabled introduces a lot of awesome new cards, but my pick for the best card in the set is actually a reprint, Strength of a Raging Fire. It can easily deal 3, 4, sometimes even 5 damage, letting you easily remove an opposing character. When you can sing it, you can still use your ink available that turn to develop your board, and on top of all that, it's an inkable, so it comes at almost no deck building cost. I mean, all in all, Strength of a Raging Fire is just flexible, tempo positive, brutally efficient, and I'm sure it will remain a powerhouse in post-rotation steel decks.
Before I close, it's worth mentioning that among the players that I talked to, there was actually a wide range of opinions. There wasn't a single card that made everybody's list, and there were many, many cards that only got 1 or 2 votes. And these are some of Lorcana's very best players. All of them have competed at the highest levels, so it was really interesting to see how their opinions differed, and I'm really interested to see at the end of the season which of these players had the most accurate list. Therefore, I had to do a little bit of interpretation as I racked and stacked these and give it a little of my own assessment to figure out where these cards should stack. So I'm interested in what you think about how these are ranked. What cards surprised you? Are there any that were left off the list that should be there? Let us know in the comments below, and we can't wait to see you next time.